Hey, let me out of here, I'm innocent. Those £5 of fish tech were for personal use. Hey you, jailer, at least move me. I don't want to be with the politicals. Politics makes you rot. I'm a decent thief, let me out.
Shut your trap! I'm busy!
Jethro, keep it down. You looking to kill me?
That thief's bugging me.
Thief, right. And I'm here with the politicals. Scandalous.
I said shut up!
Stop screaming or on my mother's life I'll bloody smash your junky mouth.
Abso-fucking-lutely beautiful.
What's your problem, Whitey? You wanna dance to Vizima? Come on, I wanna see your hands in the air.
Jethro, open the cell.
Ooh, scared? Soft as butter. Come on, Whitey, what you got?
Back off.
What, you wanna fight or not?
Professor, move it. You're free.
How ironic, our paths cross again. So near and yet so far. Fear not, Witcher, we'll meet again. I assure you.
You're making a mistake. This man's a murderer.
You fail to grasp the basic rules governing this world. You're a genetically modified murderer with no place in modern society. But we'll tend to that problem next time. Farewell.
I can't wait.
Hey everyone, my name is Wedoo and welcome back to Everything You Can Do in The Witcher 1. Let's jump into it. We are now in chapter 2 and Geralt is imprisoned in Vizima. We saw the professor get out of jail and it was the second time that he escaped from our reach. This starts Prison Break. We need to talk with the elven convict about Dice Poker. This doesn't progress the Dice Poker questline. You can either play him and if you do, win or lose, it doesn't matter. The captain of the guard, Vincent Mice, approaches everyone and says that there is a cockatrice in the sewers. We need to earn our spot by fistfighting a muscle man.
You bastard!
By winning, we are allowed to go to the sewers and receive a Witcher's Silver Sword from Jethro. This starts Memory of the Blade. After descending, we encounter Siegfried, a knight from the Order of the Flaming Rose. If you ask what he knows about cockatrices, he will tell you a long description of said beasts and a little about his backstory. You have another decision in hand: allow him to join your efforts or go in alone. I believe that if you allow him to help, it will be more beneficial to you, giving you an extra hand to deal with cockatrices and some awful stuff down the road. I chose the company of Siegfried. This conversation will grant you journal entries for Siegfried, Cockatrice, Cockatrice Feather, Cockatrice Eye, Toxin, and Order or the Flaming Rose. The only thing that is remotely dangerous in the sewers is the cockatrice, so other than that, there will only be drowners. There is a fallen knight with a missive and a night-out key. It will be useful later to do something. Across the tunnel you will encounter the cockatrice, and unprepared, it can be a difficult fight on paper. But with your potions, signs and a silver sword, the cockatrice can be an easy task. Furthermore, with the help of Siegfried, the cockatrice is a pushover. After dealing with it, loot the remains for the cockatrice head and a Sephiroth, starting the beast of the sewers. Heading over to the exit, some salamander bandits will appear to try to take you out. This will begin a long quest line of trying to discover the culprit, branching out as various quest lines, starting with Suspect Vincent Mice. Getting out of the sewers, we are in the Temple District of Vizima. Before doing anything else, we should go to the dungeons again, but now free. Vizima at the start can be complicated to navigate, but if you explore every nook and cranny, you will make sense of it. At night, there will be some assassins trying to take Geralt down, so try to be on alert. While looting, there's a chance of the assassins having fish tech, a common drug, so loot them because it will be useful later. There is a notice board in front of the dungeons with the contracts of this chapter. Read them and you will start the Wolf contract, the Equinox contract, the Algul contract, Dog Catcher of Vizima, and the Drowned Dead contract. Head to the dungeon and talk with Vincent Mice. Give him the cockatrice head and talk with him about the Salamander investigation. This finishes the Beast of the Sewers. Talk with him again and he will give you a Svarog runestone for completing 3 trophy quests. Inquire him again about the investigation and he will invite you to go to the warehouse at midnight. It is not mandatory to go right away, so we will do that part later. Talk with Jethro to get your stuff. Everything you own will be in the container, so if you have a lot of stuff, you will need to do some inventory management. This finishes Prison Break. Talk with Jethro again and he will tell you that the professor was released from bail with a transfer from Vivaldi's bank. You can also ask about Ahrensbrock's package that was missing. Turns out it was fish tech and was confiscated by Jethro, a fish tech addict. This starts Suspect Vivaldi and gives you journal entries for Golden Vivaldi and fish tech. Head over to the Airy Bear Inn where we have lots to do. Talk with the innkeeper to start some stuff that can be useful later. Talk with Coleman, the recipient of Ahrensbrock's package, and tell him the truth, a jailer confiscated the package. He won't be mad and this finishes Hot Potato. Go to the fist fighting area and talk with Butterbean, this chapter fist fighting opponent.
I'm itching to it. Challengers.
Deal with him and choose whatever option you like. Because I'm grasping for storage space, I went for the orange. As for the room, I'll level up. I brewed some cat potions and spent my talent points on Silver Sword talents. During daytime, explore a little bit more of the area to get some books, because some of them are crucial. In the Order Guardhouse, you can encounter the Flower and the Flame, and Spectres, Wraiths and the Damned, granting you journal entries for Noon Wraiths, Night Wraiths, Wraiths, Wild Hunt, and their lootables. Go to the Antiquary to buy books such as The Road of No Return, Dragon's Dreams, Transformations and Metamorphoses, Ritual Plants, Fineweed, and the Tome of Fear Unloading Volume 2. These scopes will grant you copious amounts of useful journal entries that are needed throughout your gameplay. Next to the guardhouse, there will be Order merchants and armorers that can sell you stuff. If you choose to allow Siegfried to help you, they will allow you to conduct business with them. After the shopping, go near the sewers to the private investigator Raymond Marlowe. In the trunk of the house, you will encounter Geralt of Vizima. Go upstairs and talk with him. You can inquire him about the investigation and he will be your guide with everything during this. He also tells us that there's a witness somewhere in Vizima. He will advise Geralt to stay a little bit because he is being followed by someone.
The Witcher is taking his time.
He must have left a different way. No matter.
Seems true. I assume the trap is set.
Indeed. Tend to your tasks in the trade quarter.
I'll leave the matter to our best agent.
We saw the professor once again, and we need to deal with some salamander bandits. This starts the Crown Witness and Vizima Confidential. Go to the dungeon and talk with Jethro. If you give him some fish tech, he will give you the location of the witness, St. Labioda's hospital. Head over to the hospital and you will encounter a guard. Bribe him for 30 orens and he will let you in anytime you want. There's a laundry basket with some red gloves that are essential for later, and a trunk with some alchemy supplies, and a book, Cult and Religions of the Norlings, giving journal entries for Elves, Cult of the Lionhead Spider, and Cult of Melatelli. Approach the guards and give an incentive of 20 orens to talk with the witness. You will utter the words Kalkstein and will enter in an unconscious state. All hell breaks loose when Ramsmeat gang enters the hospital. Defeat them and this event starts. Suspect Kalkstein and suspect Ramsmeat, while giving journal entries for the characters. Go to Raymond's house and talk with him about what happened in the hospital. Both conclude that Kalkstein is the main suspect in this investigation. Geralt needs to investigate him, but first needs to gain some trust by doing some work with him. This finishes the Crown Witness. Go to the hospital once again and talk with the gardener. He was the one who did put the notice about the Equinox. If you are following along, you already have the 3 required road stocks to hand over. You could have got them from chapter 1, specifically from the end of the past quest, where you had to fight various Equinox. And if you talk with the villagers long enough, you probably had a journal entry already. Deliver them to the gardener, finishing the Equinox contract. Go to Kalkstein's house and talk with him. If you collect every Barghest head and do have one in your storage, feel free to sell them to Kalkstein. Meditate so you can level up and brew some potions. If you have the ingredients, brew the Hellhound Soul so you can get 1 silver point. I spent my silver point on intelligence level 3 to unlock the 3rd tree of my science and the bronze talents on more silver sword talents. Talk to him about his new proposition. He will tell you that in the swamp there's a mysterious tower and he wants to enter to discover its mysteries. But he needs more information about said tower, needing the books, the secret gates, and so forth. This starts the quest, The Mysterious Tower. Go to the next house, Vivaldi's, and Golan Vivaldi is being imprisoned for his supposed Scoia'tael connections. This starts the decision slide.
I wanted no part of the business between the Hawker and the Scoia'tael. The fools gave me no choice. Fearing the revenge of the Scoia'tael, Heron betrayed the whole unit. Probably thought he'd be safe, get a reward. The young non-humans will be carrion for ravens and crows. The only true victors in this conflict, for someone is sure to avenge the freedom fighters. Use their deaths, take just revenge for the cause. And the scavengers will be fat and sated. Ravens and crows.
If you choose to let Scoia'tael fighters get Aaron Brock's goods in the chapter 1, this won't happen. Go to the dungeon to free the man. This is a 200 Oren bail, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get the money to free him. Talk with Jethro, and after bailing Vivaldi out, he will thank you by giving the secret gates to Geralt. You can also talk to him about your suspicions. Go to the alley near Raymond's house and there will be a boot black giving you a true shine for 2 orens. It will give you interesting trivia about the world and will have a distinct way of talking for a boot black. I wonder, who is he? Near Vivaldi's house there will be a dwarf, and if you talk with him, you will say that Vivaldi hates humans and has a reason for it. Going to the Erebarian, there will be a certain man drinking. He is Conrad, and asks Geralt to enter an old house to get a 100-year-old wine because the alcohol of the inn doesn't suit the most for his delicate palate. This starts a most uncommon wine. Also in the inn, you can encounter Zoltan again, and you could catch up with him. You can say that you need some work, and he will tell you about the work opportunity in the Viziman docks. Regarding the dice poker game, he will tell you about the professionals of dice poker, much harder opponents. After a conversation, you can start Safe Haven. Talking to him again, and you can ask him about Vivaldi and his bank, telling Geralt that some humans have bought half of the bank, meaning it didn't have anything to do with the professor's release. And lastly, there's a philosophical conversation about evil.
A minute?
What's eating you?
I warn you, some philosophy's involved.
The meaning of life, eh?
The evil that Witchers fight stems from chaos, from actions aimed at disturbing order. For where evil spreads, order cannot be established. Instead of the light of wisdom, the glimmer of hope, and the glow of warmth, darkness ensues. And in darkness you find nothing but blood, fangs, and claws. Like in the outskirts.
Nicely put, but as young Cero said to King Verdank on their first date, does it have any practical uses?
The right of Witchers to live and function in this world has fallen out of balance, because the struggle between good and evil now plays out on a different battlefield with different rules. Evil has ceased being chaotic. No longer a blind elemental power, evil follows rules according to the rights it's been granted. It functions in line with treaties.
That's progress. With more of us living longer, we can slaughter one another in the thousands. Progress is like a herd of pigs. The herd brings many benefits, but no one should wonder at all the shit.
Shit or no shit, Witchers exist to slay monsters. How can I when the real monsters hide behind ideals, faith, or the law?
The biggest evil is moral relativity, which kills more than the Catriona plague and dragons combined. Witchers will always be needed, no matter where that pig herd leads us.
Thanks, Sultan.
There will be a man dubbed as Messenger, and after drinking with him, he will say that the man named Levarden can buy you some salamander pins, an interesting piece of trivia for later. Also, if you ask about salamander information, he will tell you off and won't talk with you again. You could talk with Coleman again and ask about some work. He will say that his house is being haunted and needs Geralt to deal with it. If you pay close attention to this, you will get that Coleman's and the house that has the century-old wine are the same, so we can piggyback the wine quest with this one. This starts the rat. Also asking about the salamander pins, he doesn't want to do business with you for the time being. Ramsmith is also here, so if you can, talk with him about everything. This could be a very heated conversation for both sides, so to cool it off, we continue to get some more information about our suspects. There is a tag that if you talk with him, will say that Ramsmith owns the area. Between the dungeon and the hospital, there's a particular house. Head inside and you will talk with the proprietor, Taller. He's a fence and can sell a sun rune and the Book of the Golden Oriole, giving you journal entry for Wolf, Golden Oriole, and Blackbud. You can ask him about the Silver Sword, and he will say that he won in a dice poker game. You can pressure him to talk about Berengar's stuff, and he will tell you that Berengar had worked with Kalkstein. You can also ask about salamander dealings, and by believing him, you can continue our search for the truth. This starts suspect Taller. Taller is also a dice poker player and a professional. By playing him, you finish Dice Poker, the novice, and start Dice Poker, the professional. Finally, Taller can have a drinking challenge with Geralt, and is the hardest opponent in the game. To outdrink him, you need to drink 9 times, so be prepared for this task. By doing so, he will give you Shadow People or the story of His Majesty. Going outside, there will be a mysterious man watching over the house. He rejects you talking to him. With this new information and drunkenness, we need to go to Kalkstein and question him about the Berengar deal. First, ask to meditate so you can get out of the drunken state. When asked about this topic, he will say that he did, in fact, contact Berengar to deal with the mysterious tower as well, but proved not effective. He will give you the Book of the Kiss, and by reading it, you'll get the formulas for kiss and insectoid oil. Near the Airy Barrier, there's a woman named Carmen. Talking with her, she requests that Geralt helps her so the nighttime ladies won't have any trouble with men harassing him. This begins working girls. Inside the inn, there will be a man named Gambler. This is the one who lost to Taller for a Witcher's silver sword. He then directs you to the gardener. Near the fist fighting area, you can encounter Munron Royce, and you can play dice poker with him. He's a professional player as well. Playing him will advance the dice poker quests, only needing 2 more professional players to the next rank. Right next to the inn, there will be an abandoned house with a tag. If you talk with him, he will ask to clear another house full of ghosts, and they will leave right away. This starts a ghost story. This house contains a trunk with the book Lara's Gift, giving you a journal entry for elves. Going to said house, we understand that it was a ruse, and the tag is trying to rob Geralt with his friends. After defeating them, talk with the elf woman, and she will thank you, inviting you to her house in the non-human district. This finishes a ghost story. Go to the hospital and talk with the gardener. He will tell you that this Witcher's silver sword is from Cohen, a Witcher from the School of the Griffin. He died and the gardener promised to give his sword to a Witcher, but couldn't find one and he lost it in the dice poker game. He directs you to Shani. You can talk with him about his mercenary days and request some food. He talks about it and gives you a journal entry for Zerkania, a much needed one for later. You can talk with him again, giving him some more food. You can ask for a red flower and he will give it to you. Head inside the hospital, and if you offer some fruit to the altar of Meloteli, it will give you 3 sephiroths. Still in the hospital, talk with Shani. She requests some celandine, 5 to be exact. If you picked out some in chapter 1, then you are golden. If not, you can either buy them or collect them from the swap. This starts Old Friend of Mine. If you talk with her in the hospital, she will request for you to meet at her house. Go talk with the Boot Black and give him the book Shadow People or the Story of His Majesty, given by Tyler to us. You will be surprised by the existence of this once thought to be destroyed book. He was in fact the former personal assistant of Rodanian spymaster Dijkstra, or a Reuben. He will give you the Prophet Lebioda's signet ring. Equip it to Geralt because it will be useful soon. Still on the street, go to Coleman's house to deal with the situation. There will be 2 raids guarding the first floor. Deal with them with your silver sword and signs. Rest a little bit using a swallow potion, and then when you recover most of your health, go downstairs. In the basement, there will be 4 graveyears, and they will group around you. Use group style and your signs to take care of them. There's a lot of alcohol, but the one we require is in the chest. Go to the inn and talk with the innkeeper. Coleman is nowhere to be found, so we need to figure out where he is. Meditate until midnight. In front of the hospital, you will encounter an associate of Carmen being harassed by men, so deal with him. The next stop is in the non-human district, and we need to clear them out again. The last spot is in the merchants area, so deal with them again. Near the non-human district, go to the Elf's house and talk with her. She will thank you once again. She will teach Geralt some elven words. Select the bottom option to get the Elf romance card, the 5th in the game. Still in the neighborhood, go to Shani's house. You will be confronted by an old woman. If you have the Prophet Lebioda's signet ring equipped, use it so you can go upstairs. Otherwise, she won't allow you to do it. Go upstairs and talk with Shani. She will tell you about Cohen and the moments before he died. She will then direct you to Zoltan. Ask her to meditate so we can pass time and level up. I spent my points on strength, stamina, and intelligence. Wait until it's 7 AM. Go near the sewers, and whenever it is 7 AM, there will be a con artist near the sewer entrance. Talk with him, and he will request Geralt to find a family heirloom in the crypt. This starts Finders Keepers. Go talk with Carmen once again, saying that we finished the job she requested Geralt to do. Choose the non-materialistic option. This allows Geralt to have rendezvous with their assistants by giving red roses. This finishes Working Girls. Next up, go to the guards near the gate and asking about the salamander badges. They will tell Geralt to be on his way. While on the street, you may encounter Zoltan, so speak with him about Cohen's Witcher's silver sword. You will appraise the sword and say it's from a fine blacksmith worth. This finishes Memory of the Blade. Rest in Raymond's house until it's dusk so you can go to the Aribarian. Before entering the inn, you can encounter on the street some of the Carmen's assistants, and if you give them red roses, you can get their romance cards and the 6th of the game. At this time, Conrad will be in the inn, and you can deliver him the old wine. However, he wasted all his money on alcohol, which was too bad for his palate, so he can keep the bottle of wine. This finish a most uncommon wine. Meditate until it's midnight. Go to the warehouse and the captain of the guard will be there with some salamander bandits. Comply with him and you get to discover important pieces of information about the investigation. Vincent then leaves you to deal with the bandits, and you need to do so. After that, wait until it's daytime and go near the dungeon where he's waiting for you. Talking with him, you can ask about the warehouse ordeal, and you will say that he was the only one investigating to not cause much ruckus. With all this information, you can clear him out of any suspicion. There are 4 clues that clear him of suspicion. The first one is obtained right away in your conversation with Siegfried after the salamander attack. The second one is when Geralt talked with Jethro about the professor. The third one is when we talked for the first time with Raymond. And the last one when we spoke with the guards near Shani's house. This finishes Suspect Vincent Mice, and it will give you a city guard signet ring. Now go to Ramsmith's house, next to the Airy Bear Inn. You need to pay his tax patronage to enter the house. To clear him, you need to have 3 clues. The first one is where we were attacked in the hospital by his men. They were only trying to retrieve his comrade. The second one is where we got from Coleman when talking about Salamandra. The last one was from the tag that we encountered near the end where it told us about Ramsmith dealings. After clearing 2 suspects, the quest What Lies Beneath begins. This finishes Suspect Ramsmith and will give you a yellow meteorite. In his house there's a sound of meat, so be sure to pick it up. Go to the dungeon and talk with Jethro. Give him fish tech, making him easier to put him into question. Ask him about the confiscated silver sword. He will spill his guts saying that he got it from Taller. After that, go to Taller's house to clear him. You need 3 clues. The first one you got from him after talking about the confiscated silver sword. The second one was a mysterious man outside Taller's house. The final one is the one we got from Jethro after giving him fish tech. This finishes Suspect Taller. There's a girl named Gossip. You need to exhaust her dialogue options many times, and if you get lucky and successful, you can give her red gloves. By doing that, you can get the Gossip romance card in the 7th of the game. With all this done, go near the docks and some guards will not let you in. Siegfried, however, will be there to help you out, and if you allow him to help you in the beginning, the guards will allow you to continue. This starts the decision slide.
A surprise in the sewers. A night of the Flaming Rose, soaked in stench from head to foot. I usually work alone, but this was an opportunity to see a knight in action. I must say he did rather well for a human. That was rare gratitude he showed.
Going to the docks, you will see Coleman and we discover that he is an informant for Vincent Mice, and he has been helping him dismantle Salamander. This is it for today. Next time we will explore the other half of Chapter 2. Thank you so much for supporting me. I upload every Saturday, 5 PM British Standard Time. My name is Wedoo, and see you guys later. Bye bye!